I'm Jake Sanderson.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and, of course, the Glebe Central Pub. Make sure to check out the GCP at 779 Bank Street, walking distance from Lansdowne, and get on the Send Shuttle. The vibes are free at the GCP. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and the Ottawa Senators lose in overtime for a second consecutive game, this time at home, and they now trail the best-of-7 series 3-0. Pillsy, you were boots on the ground inside what was a very pro-Ottawa rink at the CTC. What was your experience, and how did you see the game develop?
Yeah, I mean, obviously disappointing result. Another overtime loss where you feel like the Senators are right there. They push it to overtime, and then they're not able to generate any offense on overtime. The faceoffs become the story of game 3, just like they were the story of game 1 as well. But overall, it was a great experience. The red zone out front of the CTC was awesome. It was a beautiful sunny day, no rain, lots of Sens fans out there. I would say realistically, the CTC was probably a 70-30 split. It might have looked worse on TV with the Leafs fans because I feel like they really brought out the wallets and spent their money in the 100 levels, but up in the 200s and especially the 300s where the people are, there was a lot of Sens fans there. So glad at least the ratio was in a good spot. And up until overtime, it was right there for the taking for the Ottawa Senators. And going down 3-0 like this, back-to-back overtime losses is tough.
Tough is one way to put it. Another one is heart-wrenching, brutal. Like they deserve better in one of these two games, and they don't get it, and that's playoff hockey. It's just It'll stab you in the heart, twist it around, and not care. It'll pull it out and stab you again. And the first stabbing was the goal right at the start of the third period where the Senators lose the face-off. They go into the zone, and I even tweeted out at the time, I said, you got to tip your hat on that play. Mitch Marner, just an absolutely elite play, little touch pass right on the stick of Matthews out front, and no goalie is getting to the far post in that amount of time. And then Ottawa
wasn't even ready for it. He was looking the other way.
Nobody would have been, though. The puck was coming from the other side. Every goalie would still be looking over their right window, and then all of a sudden it's in the back of the net on the left. So maybe you want a little stronger defensive play, knowing Matthews is the guy out front, but that's an elite play. Like, I have no problem with that goal. It's not like, oh, who are we going to blame on that goal? Look, it's 2-1 at that point, and Ottawa battles back. They don't get a shot for the first 10 minutes of the period. And as the announcers on Sportsnet are talking about it, Brady Tkachuk goes in and rips a goal. Same spot he scored that goal against San Jose when we were boots on the ground together. And I felt like that just gave them so much life to be able to get this game over the finish line, but it's not the case. Faceoffs are what come back to bite them again. How many faceoffs in this series have goals come directly off of? This time it's Simon Benoit, who's had an amazing series for a sixth defenseman, makes the play on the overtime goal in game 2, and then finds a lane, which is something that Senators defensemen have not been able to do in this series. He just flutters it right in past Ullmark with a ton of bodies out front.
Yeah, again, no chance for Ullmark there. Like, there's just so much traffic in front. He can't even really see it. It seemed like it was a bit of a knuckle puck. It kind of bounced off the boards, and Benoit got a lot of it there. So credit to him. And I don't know, Ross, in the building right before that face-off, I don't know if you could tell on TV, but the Sens really got a loud Go Sens Go rally going. Mullet Man was really firing up the crowd, and in the moment it felt good, but in hindsight, maybe you don't try to go crazy with the rally chants when you're in your own end in overtime. That was ultimate up, and then a sniper just got the balloon and complete deflation within seconds. So in hindsight, maybe the production crew, you gotta time those things a little bit better, or at least be aware of the situations that Sens have not been winning faceoffs, and it's in their own zone there. So But other than that, the rink was bumping. I don't know if you could hear the chants on TV. The Matthews Balding chants were actually pretty good. They were definitely ringing through the 300s. A little more creative than just Brady sucks. That's all the Leafs fans could really come up with. Real good there. So Sens fans have a little bit more fun with that. But yeah, I would say, Ross, the two big moments were the Brady goal was absolutely electric. Like, that really brought the building back to life when you had the lead 1-0 and then you let it go. Sure, that's not great. That wasn't a great feeling. But then when the Ottawa Senators were down 2-1, like you talked about, that quick goal by the Leafs in the third period, 32 seconds in, I believe, that really took a lot of life out of the building, I got to be honest. And then Sens fans were just stressed, sitting there, waiting, not getting many opportunities, not a whole lot of shots in the third for the Sens. And then Brady comes down the ice and just rips it. That really brought everybody back to life. It made you feel like, okay, the captain's leading here. He found a way to get a good goal, not just a garbage goal that banks off a Leafs defenseman or something like that. It felt good. And even going into overtime, sure, you're a little stressed and you have the panic of, well, we've been here before. We tied things up and we thought we had the momentum and the Leafs got it. But this time felt a little different. You're in your home barn. The atmosphere was good. The Ottawa Senators really needed this. And I'm sure the players wanted this one in front of their fans at the CTC. But hockey is a cruel game and it's tough. It's tough.
Especially when the last time Ottawa was in playoffs, it felt like they were getting every overtime bounce that they needed to have success. It comes down to that tonight, and Simon Benoit wins the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They take this one 3-2 and a 3-0 series lead. Just a quick message to Ottawa Senators fans that have tickets to Game 4. Go and support the boys. I mean, this has been a tight series. Outside of Game 1, you can say that one, the Sens' discipline cost them. Leafs go 3 for 6 on the power play in that game, and they made no short work of the Ottawa Senators. But back-to-back overtime games, the Senators fight back to tie it in both games, down 2-1. Don't sell your tickets to Leafs fans. Don't do it. The vibes in the rink were too high, and this rink, ESPN said, was way louder than Toronto. It was Kevin Weeks on the call, goalie-friendly show. And the Sens fan base showed up tonight, and I hope they do as well on Saturday night, where the Senators will be facing elimination. They're down 3-0 in the series. It is a very tall mountain to climb if the Senators are going to win this one in 7. We're seeing some Sens in 7 in the chat. I just hope that this is something that the Sens fans enjoy, because you deserve at the very least 2 playoff games with how hard that you've worked over the last 8 years to stay engaged and stay positive with how bad this team had gotten in, let's say, the 2018-19 season, where they finished dead last or where they finished right at the bottom of the standings again in 2020, 2021. You just have to be able to park it and enjoy the moment. And I felt like Sens fans did, even down 2-0 going into tonight's game. You got to show up on Saturday. The boys are still buzzing and still giving it all they have. And bounce goes the other way. It's 2 straight overtime games. And this is not the morale Stanley Cup. You have to get results. There's no doubt about that. And all the Leaf fans that are chirping in the comments, I mean, shouldn't you guys know better than anybody? It was 6 straight first round exits for them before they win a series, and then losing 5 in the second round. Then they lost the first round again. Like, if any team should have any sort of consideration for the Senators' inexperience, it should be the Leafs. But no, instead, it's a whole lot of you-know-what from them, arrogance. Call it what you want. But I find it hilarious that on a Thursday night at 11 p.m., Leaf fans don't have anything better to do than to come into a Senators fan podcast and talk their smack, especially after a 5-minute timeout, and they still come back. So I do find that hilarious, almost pathetic, but I'll call it hilarious. And here we go. It's Game 4. Senators still alive, down 3-0 in their best of 7.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take things one game at a time here. You got another home game. That building was rocking. Like, Brady Tkachuk sent the message after Game 2, hey, we're going home. We need Sens fans to show up. We need that building to be buzzing. And the Sens fans certainly did their part. Like, it was an absolutely loud atmosphere. The goals were electric. The rally towels when they got going. The Linden Slewage anthem hit so good. Andy rang the bell before. Like, it was just, everything was going well. Sens fans, best in class. We did our part here. And look, this was not a lack of effort loss from the players either. Like, I don't want to have this come off as, you know, they weren't in it or they didn't have it tonight, because you got beat in overtime again. So just things could be so different with a couple bounces going other ways, but that's hockey, and it's our first time back in the playoffs, and you got to take your lumps. You got to experience it. No pain, no gain. Here we are down 3-0. We're not out yet. Leafs fans are getting excited. That's fine. Let them enjoy the moment. But this thing's not over. And I'm not saying that it's likely, but it's not impossible. Teams have come back from 0-3 before. If there's a team that can choke this 3-0 lead, it would be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's be honest. I think even Leafs fans can understand that. So one game at a time. Here we go.
Yeah, one game at a time. Let's break down the actual game itself after the break. You're listening to Locked On Senators podcast. It's always brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Make sure to check out the GCP where the vibes are free. Go check out 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. On Sens game days, you'll get 10% off your order. Have the smash burger like we did last time we were at the Glebe Central Pub. So delicious. And no doctors have confirmed this, but I believe it is nutritious. Now, you can also go there to your neighborhood pub in the heart of the Glebe for great food, awesome drinks. The service is always top notch. They got the games going on the big screens. They got the volume going on the big screens. And it is just a great place to go and watch the game. It's also the place where you meet up for the Sens shuttle at the GCP shuttle. Sue gets you to the game in one piece, right back to the pub afterwards, where you can enjoy the rest of your night there. So go to where the vibes are free. It is the Glebe Central Pub, 779 Bank Street. Longtime sponsor of Locked On Senators. We appreciate our friends at the Glebe Central Pub.
This episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props. Three-pointers, steals, assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for your chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today.
Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller. I need to take a look here because I think all my big bets hit tonight on FanDuel. $50 on Brady Tkachuk over shots. That hits. Let's just call it 5 units. Had 4 units on a Claude Giroux point. Had 3 units on a Giroux power play point. Yeah, I broke even despite the loss. I had a race for 2 goals. Thought I was going to hit that as well. Did not happen tonight. Senators fall 3-2 in overtime. And for the few Leaf fans being very polite in the chat, just read the chat and understand why I'm having the timeout button on repeat. And just ask yourself, our team just went up 3-0 in a playoff series. It's 11:15 on a Thursday night. Why are you watching a Senators show?
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, hate watching is fun. If you want to hate watch, thanks for engaging at least. Just try to keep it civil. Try to have a little class here because this series isn't over. It's not over.
No, it's not over. And I mean, 2 straight overtime losses. It could go the other way just like that. This could be a 2-1 series lead for the Ottawa Senators. So I think Leaf fans, maybe they're just so nervous about what could be to come with the Florida Panthers, most likely, if not the Tampa Bay Lightning. And good luck. Good luck. Let's talk about tonight's game. Senators lose 3-2. It was a scoreless first period where there were a few penalties both ways. How did you find the start for the Ottawa Senators?
I mean, I think they started better than they had in the last couple of games here, Ross. They controlled the pace of the play, I thought. to begin the game. Travis Green decided to start off with that shutdown line of Pinto, Greg, Amadio. I thought that was an interesting decision. Brady, Timmy, and Giroux got over the boards next right away. So clearly they're trying to get some offense after that. But I thought this team started out just fine. Like it was a first period where I think the Sens were out shooting the Leafs like 6-1 for like the first 10 minutes or so. So like things were going really well. The Leafs weren't even getting any possession, let alone offensive zone time. Nylander had that one partial break where he loaded up a half clapper, Allmark out of his crease. Nice save, easy, calmed it down. So I thought the start was probably what the Senators would want, honestly, apart from not scoring first. Well, in the first period. Yeah.
In the first period. Yeah. I felt like they needed to score first in the first period. Look at what St. Louis did tonight. They were down 2-0 going home. They scored 3 times in the first period and take a 3-0 lead within the game, obviously down 2-0 in the series. So that in itself, a little unfortunate that Ottawa wasn't able to have enough high danger chances to finish on those opportunities. But it would have been nice to score first in the first period. It comes down to a 5-on-3 power play in the second period, where we said, Ottawa, you have to score on this, and they do. It's Claude Giroux. What'd you think of that one?
It was a good one, especially Ross. Like a lot of the Sens goals had been right in that slot area, rebounds, bouncing pucks, things like that, deflections. This was a nice play by Claude Giroux just to have it in the high slot, roll, wait, patience, look for a spot, and then not try to blast it. Just feather it through there, and it finds its way through. Brady Tkachuk, great job screening in front. When you've got a big body like that, even a guy as big as Anthony Stolarz, it's going to be hard for him to track that puck. He doesn't see it. Claude Giroux gets the goal, and that got the building bumping. Ross, in classic fashion, I was in the concourse for that goal. I feel like more goals happen when I'm in the concourse than when I'm in my seat. But we were right there at the tunnel, so we got to celebrate. We got to walk in and be a part of the woohoo chants. So that was still good. But yeah, I thought it was a nice goal by G.
I thought it was a great goal by Giroux. It would have been great if they were able to get a second one as well, right? Because they scored. They still had a minute 5-on-4 after that. Could not get it done. It just felt like when there were times within this game to take the momentum and grab it by the throat, they just weren't able to do it.
Yeah, and they had their opportunities. Like I thought Dylan Cousins had a couple of good chances. He had that partial break as well. And they didn't really let the Leafs have their chances. Like the Leafs didn't have a lot of ozone time, in my opinion. Maybe just the way the crowd was vibing and the way it seemed like in the rink, but they didn't have a lot of the possession. And I mean, they're still able to capitalize on the few times they had it. You talked about that quick play, Marner to Matthews out front, and then obviously winning that ozone draw for them, and then Benoit getting it off the boards and quick slap shots. So they were able to capitalize when they needed to, and that's been the Leafs game. It sucks because I think they're kind of allowing the Ottawa Senators to handle the puck and use it and have it. But they're able to hold them off, keep them on the perimeter, and Stolarz has been pretty good here. So the fact that the Sens aren't able to find that way to capitalize more often in the offensive zone has really hurt them. And then when the Leafs get a power play, it just seems like they have the utmost confidence that they're going to get it done, and they have been getting it done. Oh, muted.
Doing way too many things at once. The Ottawa Senators on the PK just have not given enough confidence. Leafs go 1 for 2 tonight, and Ottawa had their chance in the power play. And that's what we said in our preview, Pillsy. We said you have to be able to answer that as best you could. The Leafs were, 4 for 7 coming into tonight. Now they're 5 for 9 in the series, above 45%. It's just you have to be able to answer when you get your opportunities. And Ottawa does not do that. The shots on goal tonight, low for both of them. 20 shots for Toronto, 20 shots for Ottawa. Sens, as I mentioned, go 1 for 4 on the power play. The Leafs go 1 for 2. Senators goal comes on a 5-on-3. This is the big one to me. The Senators losing 63% of the faceoffs in this game. The blocks were more even, 17 each. Ottawa with 44 hits to Toronto's 37. The Leafs get 57% of the expected goals at 5-on-5. Faceoffs are what I want to touch on here, though, Pillsy. Like,
Yeah.
What happened? This was such an elite face-off team during the regular season, and they have been cleaned out in the dot, and at least 4 goals have been given directly off of lost draws.
Yeah, I'm looking at the face-off summary here, Ross, and
God bless you.
Where it's really bad is the offensive zone for the Ottawa Senators. 4 for 19, 21% in the offensive zone for the Ottawa Senators. And when you're not able to win that draw, all that pressure you put, most likely getting a shot on Stolarz, having him cover it, you're just losing all that momentum and all that pressure. So having to at least be able to win those draws, clear it, get possession, and stop anything that you're building there is really tough. And then nobody was really good in the draws here. Like Dylan Cousins, 4 for 8, 50%. And then Drake Batherson, 1 for 2, 50%. Every other player was under 50%. And tough one for Giroux after we kind of gave him a little bit of props for bouncing back, as he goes 2 for 6 in this one. So
only 6 face-offs for Giroux.
Well, when it's not working, I think that happens.
Jeez.
And Ross, the linesman in this series, I mean, it's starting to drive me nuts. Like the amount of face-offs they're kicking guys out of. I think even Leafs fans can appreciate how annoying that is.
I know you're at the game. I said bipartisan tweet. Why are they kicking everybody out of the draws? Like, nobody bought tickets to watch the linesman.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, just like once in a while, I get it. You don't want, like, the only way it makes sense is if you're trying to stop guys from cheating on the draws, then you say, okay, hey, you can't be doing that. Let's reset. But it just seems like every other draw, the linesmen are just standing there. And then the guys are going to go false start because they're like, are you going to drop the puck anytime today? And then they throw one guy out, whoever they feel like was the guy that went off. And it's just annoying. Like it just totally breaks up the play. So they got to do something about the face-offs things there.
Yeah, we'll get to our Sen Central standouts and more on tonight's game. Kevin in the Philippines saying hello. He's having a McDonald's and fried chicken and rice with an Oreo McFlurry. He hopes the boys can pull off a comeback. Kevin, we need you in the building, man. Like, we need you to fly back tomorrow because we know Kevin's record in the building is unbelievable. Jimmy Stu says, don't get me wrong, the series is a bummer, but we aren't done our growing pains yet. Steve's only had the wheel for a little bit. It is the first step. Adam writes in, the Sens have no killer instinct. He also says what he wants to see. Does the team grow and learn? Do they make the right moves, adjust the system, and ultimately grow as a team year after year? If they do that, he's good. Go, Sens, go. We also have a couple chats. One more from Adam saying, who else is done with the diamond PK? I am. Yeah, same here. Mikey throws in a couple pennies here. As soon as they rang the bell, ask nor whom the bell tolls. It tolls for the Sens. First team eliminated in 2025. That was not very good English right there, but I assume he doesn't like the bell, and neither do we. We've been very vocal about that. Mikey also upset that I'm chirping Leaf fans. He sent super chats. Wow. I'll buy a Kit Kat with that. Was polite. And you call me pathetic. You're like a high school student in July. No class. Well, a high school in December would tell you that you're there should have an apostrophe RE. So I'll let you go back to some grammar classes there. Thank you for the coins in the jukebox, baby. All I have to say about Leaf fans enjoying the chat here, one series win in the last, how many years? 21? 21 years, the last Battle of Ontario. Doesn't take away the pain, but you have to understand that you guys have been through it a lot more than we have, as the Ottawa Senators have more wins in the Matthews era than the Leafs do. Now, could that change tomorrow? Yeah, it could become a tie, 2-2. In the last in 19? No, it wouldn't be 2-2 in the last 19 years. Sens have been to the Stanley Cup final. They've been to 2 Eastern Conference finals. They've been to the second round a couple times beyond that. So enjoy the moment, Leaf fans. All I got to say is if my team was up 3-0, I'd probably be listening to TSN 1050 or the Fan 590. I wouldn't be bothering with a Toronto Maple Leafs fan podcast. So just look in the mirror a little bit. That's all I'm telling you there. Eh? Enjoy the moment. Pilsy, who's your locked on? Your Sen Central standout in tonight's game?
I mean, if you're passing it to me, Ross, obviously we talked about the face-offs, but Claude Giroux, I thought this was a good game for him. A goal and an assist. I loved his goal on the power play there, being able to feather it in. It was his only shot on goal this entire game. He finishes the game a +1. His ice time certainly down, 15 minutes, 43 seconds, compared to Timmy at 20:34 and Brady at 17:19, his line mates. But overall, I thought Claude Giroux finding a way to score and then getting an assist on the Brady Tkachuk goal. That's a nice game for our guy G. So hopefully he can build on that and figure it out in the dot.
Yeah. G had a good game with that, and obviously got the goal started with his first of the playoffs, his first goal in the playoffs with the Ottawa Senators. I might be going off the board with this one, Pilsy, but we'll snap it back twice because despite the result, like the Senators had guys who had good games tonight.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Tyler Clevin. He threw that unreal reverse hit in the first period on Steven Lorenz, and he gets an assist in this game too. I just feel like of all the young players who are kind of like, okay, what do we have in them? Clevin's shown he's an NHL player in the playoffs. In the last 2 games, got an assist on the tip-in goal from Gaudette. I just loved Clevin's game, and a lot of people don't know this, but Tyler Clevin grew up as a diehard Nicholas Kronwall fan. I'll tell you, if Nicholas Kronwall saw that hit, he'd be very proud of him, to say the least.
Yeah, I actually ran into his uncle, Jeff, in the concourse, so I quickly said what up to him. So
was that his first time in Ottawa?
I'm not sure. I was just trying to follow Martian at that point, so I was in a hurry. I just quickly shook his hand, said hello, and had a quick chat, so I didn't get to fully get into it with him, but it was good to see him.
Yeah, I had some beers with him before the Sens played in Winnipeg a couple months ago. He's a beauty. That whole family's just all time. But beyond that, I thought Tyler Clevin had a great game tonight.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game too, Ross. He is exactly the type of third pairing defenseman you want. And at this young age, it's pretty impressive what he's been able to do. So that's a sneaky one, Ross, but I like it.
No, I wanted to go with the sneaky one first. My second central standout will be Brady Tkachuk. 4 hits, 4 shots, and he scores the goal in tonight's game. I just felt like he brought it. And you maybe wanted a bit more earlier on in the series, but he brought it tonight. So I'll go with Brady Tkachuk as my second.
Yeah, that's a good one. Man, I don't know. I want to give Batherson some props just to help him up because it's another tough one. He takes the penalty that leads to the power play goal, but
I'm not allowing that.
But he was playing a lot more of a physical game, Ross. I think after probably watching that flyby on video multiple times with the coaches, the message that he needs to be more physical certainly set in. So I at least want to give him I'll give him an honorable mention here, I guess. I don't know. I guess Timmy. I like Timmy's game. He still has a lot of speed. He's able to enter the zone with such ease. That's still one thing that the Maple Leafs have not been able to solve is how to slow down Tim Stützle when he has the puck in the neutral zone. And even when they stack the line, Ross, he's able to dipsy doodle and find his way in. He had a clear shot in the slot and he took it instead of trying to drop pass or stop up or curl around. He was taking his shots. So again, not a great night in the dot for Timmy, and he doesn't rack up any points in this one. But overall, I still like Timmy's game. Like we want him to step up and produce a little more offense, but overall, I think his game has been good.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's just too many big moments where it's like, let's go, let's get something. So that's where I'm at with Drake Batherson. Unless he scored the overtime winner, he's got to get back into the good graces a little bit.
Yeah, and we really thought that this was going to be a game where it happened. Marsha and I were chatting with everybody there when it was tied 2-2. We were having the conversation. All right, who's going to be the hero for the Sens? And both of us said it's got to be Drake. This guy's playing guilty. He knows exactly what happened at game 2 overtime, the play where he gives it away and then doesn't get the hit or even knock the puck loose, and Domi's able to walk in and rip it. And then in this game, he's the guy in the box for the Leafs power play goal. So he knows, and we know what kind of player Drake Batherson can be, and I'm hoping that he steps it up a notch even more in game 4.
Yeah, needs to. Pils, did we hit the second break yet?
No.
Go for it.
This episode is also brought to you by our friends over at Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder where did all your money go? Dining out, online shopping, and entertainment. It's easy to lose track, but that's where Monarch Money comes in. They're your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So stop just managing your money and start building your wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track your spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without all that stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Locked On Senators podcast. We've had a postcast after all 85 games this season. We appreciate everybody for making us your first listen each and every day. The everydayers out there, we could not be doing that without you guys, and it's really, really appreciated. Let's put it that way. After the Ottawa Senators fall behind 3-0 in their best of 7 series, all I want is some danger flutes on the postcast, Pillsy. That's all.
Yeah, we need a postcast, playoff postcast with danger flutes. Maybe we'll get one Saturday.
It'd be nice. You'll be at that game too. What was the vibe in the rink like from getting to the red zone early and then getting into the arena for your first ever playoff game?
Yeah, it was awesome. The red zone was super cool. It really gave it a tailgate vibe. Even people that weren't in the red zone, people in the parking lot, you saw groups together at their cars, chit-chatting, having a good time, blaring music. The band that was playing outside the CTC was awesome. The sun was shining. It was calling for thunder and a little bit of cloudiness, but the sun peeked through and it ended up actually being a really nice day. It was like 18 degrees, so not too hot, perfect for wearing pants in the jersey, Ross. You love that kind of weather. The beers were flowing. They were running out of beers in the garden.
Anyone wearing Birks?
No, I didn't see any Birks. It's maybe too soon for that look. That's your go-to, though. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. And obviously, I wish I could have left it with a win to experience that. But that was the loudest I've ever heard the CTC. The home openers, they get close to it, not going to lie. I think if the win would have happened, I think then that would have really knocked things out. But it was a cool experience, and I'm glad I got to do it. And I'm stoked to have another opportunity, another kick at the can here on Saturday.
Yeah, Adam's got a great point here. Don't get down, frustrated, or lose home. Just blame the Diamond Formation on the PK. It's just easier that way.
Yeah, and honestly, I wish I could use that as a crutch, but when the Ottawa Senators lose the draw on the power play, like the Diamond, like especially in game 1, the Diamond Formation didn't even have a chance to really be blamed. So I still don't love it, but I'm not able to use that as my number one blame, Adam, unfortunately. But I love the effort there.
Yeah, I love it too. It's just a matter of coping at this point. 21-5 thinks Brady's been hurt. He left the game, came back, was only gone for a couple of minutes, but yeah, not great. Him and Nick Jensen, you got to think there's going to be something that comes out after this series that these guys. Oh, did I leave for a second?
Oh, you're back.
Jeez. Not sure what happened. I felt like I was here the whole time.
Well, just like Brady, you left the room for a little and you got back.
Nice. There's going to be some things that come out about Brady and Jensen's health after the series.
Yeah, I think so. But I thought Brady had a good game. Like, I'm not so much like noticing the fact that maybe he's still injured as much today as it was the first 2 games, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunate. Pillsy, final thoughts after this game.
Final thoughts for me is it was so awesome being home for a playoff game. There were so many Sens fans that come and said hello, said what up, asked for a pic, chit-chatted for a bit. Anytime I was in the concourse, people are just yelling Pillsy at me. I don't even know where they're coming from. I was trying to look around and shake everybody's hand, but it was just overwhelming. to see all the support we got from Sens fans. I know Leafs fans here don't get it, but Sens fans really are best in class. So we appreciate you. And Ross, I did have one number one common theme question, though.
Okay, what was that?
Where's Ross?
Oh, damn.
That was the number. Every time someone came up to me, that was the first thing they would say is, Pillsy, where's Ross? Like, is he late to the game? Is he coming? And I had to be the bearer of bad news and let people know.
That was my day today. Just dad mode. Just having a laugh.
No one's blaming you. We all know you're looking after.
This was me after I got spit up all over me.
Great.
Just puke all over me.
No one's blaming you. You got to be a dad. You got dad duty. It's all good. But I just wanted to let you know you were missed. People were asking about you. And
these are all from today. Tough to beat, man.
Yeah, no, it's that's
tough
great.
to beat. Got to be a dad first, man. And I'm here in the postcast. I watched the whole game, but got to put that first. So couldn't make it. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have been there, but I'm glad you had a good time. I had major FOMO too. So
yeah, that's I wasn't trying to guilt you here. I was trying to let you know that everybody was asking about you, and we missed you. And my record is atrocious compared to
without
our record when we're together. So this is unfortunately the fate that I've come to expect here.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's the way it goes, man. And I just hope you get a win on Saturday. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it would be really tough, Ross, if my first playoff experience in person was watching an overtime loss and then watching a sweep. So I don't want that. I don't even want to think about that. And Sens fans, hold the line, stay strong. I know it's going to be tempting to sell your tickets at a high price to Leafs fans chomping at the bit, thinking that they're going to move on in Game 4. But let's hold on here. We're still in this.
You literally went 8 years without a playoff game. You have tickets to a game. Go to the friggin' game. Like that's what it comes down to. So go get a win. Go get a win in Toronto and bring it back here and trade a Game 6 like a Game 7 is how I would hope that Sens fans go about it.
Yeah, that's our only option, Ross. That's the approach we have to have here.
Yeah, has to be. All right, Pillsy. Hey, did you see Josh Norris at all? Because there's a rumor that he was at the game.
Yeah, I heard there was a rumor he was in a beer garden. I don't know about that. I mean, I was
makes sense. I mean, he had to leave pretty quick. Like, I'm sure he had to come back to Ottawa to like pack his things, and he still has a bunch of buddies. Like, I believe that he was at the game.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, I mean, as a member,
he doesn't have a playoff game to get to in Buffalo.
Yeah, and as a member of the Buffalo Sabres, he probably still is liable to hate the Leafs. So that would be nice. I'm going to believe that was true, Ross. I'll join you on that. I'm sure he was there.
Yeah. Who is more likely in attendance tonight, Josh Norris or Carter Yakimchuk?
I mean, Yak had to be there. If they flew him in, he had to be there. They didn't.
Well, I mean, we didn't get confirmation that they did fly him in, but we had two sources.
Oh yeah, I thought people were saying didn't that one guy said he was literally on the plane with him from Calgary?
Yeah. There was one guy that said that. No photos though. Not that we want people taking pictures of other people on planes, but there was no proof. All right, Senators lose 3-2 in overtime, back-to-back overtime losses. There's two things that are either the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world, and one of them is overtime hockey. And the Senators are on the wrong end of both of the last two games. Unfortunate, they're down 3-0 in the series, but you can't win the series unless you win a game. So the Senators are going to have to do that. Only one 5-on-5 goal tonight. It's just not going to cut it. Senators offense needs to step up. You could pinpoint certain opportunities on defense where you'd like to see better, but if you're going to score one goal at 5-on-5 a game, you're not going to win much.
Well, and they've only scored 2 goals at all 3 games, Ross. You got to be able to muster more than 2 goals of offense. I don't care 5-on-5, 6-on-5, 4-on-4, 4-on-3. I don't care what the numbers are. You got to find ways to get more than 2 goals a game.
Yeah, cannot get swept. Like have to win a game. Have to show the crowd. The crowd had their guy tonight, as Martian said. Like
Yeah,
that was a great crowd. So unfortunate, didn't go their way in overtime, and there's lots to learn from before Saturday. We'll break it all down on tomorrow's Locked On Senators. For tonight, we say goodbye. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Postcast presented by the Glebe Central Pub at 779 Bank Street, also by the Locked On Podcast Network, where we're your team every day.